The Toronto International Film Festival is officially underway, and many big names were in attendance for opening night, marking the event's 50th anniversary.
At TIFF, Canada and the world becomes one. Now, in fairness, Toronto has a head start, since almost half of the people who live here were born outside of this country. Bringing the stories of their homelands, the stories of their journeys, their triumphs and tragedies here, and then being united by the values that Canadians hold dear: tolerance, generosity, and humility. These are values we're about to see evident on the screen when we watch John Candy, I Like Me, a documentary about the life and legacy of one of our giants, someone who's very much part of Canada's story. And I'd like to thank Ryan Reynolds, Colin Hanks, the producers, for bringing this story to life. Chris and Jennifer, thank you for sharing your father again with us. And Rose, your husband. You know, I was first introduced, like many of a certain age, it has to be said, I was first introduced to John Candy watching SCTV. Yeah. I mean, they only gave me 5 minutes, so I can't go through all the talent that was launched there. Catherine O'Hara, Martin Short, Joe Flaherty, Eugene Levy, and on. My favorite was John Candy. I'm a politician. I wouldn't just say that because I'm here. My favorite was John Candy, and I remember the excitement when SCTV moved from Hogtown to my hometown of Edmonton. And it was there that John Candy created some, at least for me, some of his most memorable characters. Johnny LaRue, restaurant critic and mobster. Yosh of the Smengi brothers. And my first personal political idol, the mayor of Melonville, Tommy Shanks. And you could see, even in those early performances, that John's success wasn't built on ego or spectacle, but a one-of-a-kind combination of humor, humanity, and humility that he brought to the screen. So in later roles, from Dewey Oxenberger, from Stripes, Del Griffith, of course, in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he had characters that he would craft that were both unconventional and unassuming, but also deeply authentic and quietly ambitious. And in many of his films, there'd be a scene, always a scene where John would pivot. Having been pushed too far, don't push a Canadian too far, having been pushed too far, pushed too far by someone who's richer, someone who's more powerful, maybe a little more arrogant, I don't know, I can't think of an analogy. And John would stand up for what's right. And I think this is apt because, you know, John's stories, the stories he'd tell, the stories that TIFF platforms, our current times make them all the more precious. We're in a more dangerous, divided, and intolerant world. In Canada, our sovereignty, our identity has come under threat. And when Canadians heard those threats, they channeled their inner John Candy, stood up, elbows up, wrote our own lines. Cela nous rappelle que nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We have our own plans. I'm almost done, don't worry. I'm almost done because there's a movie to watch. As Uncle Buck said, I spent a lot of time on this speech. As Uncle Buck said, I don't think I want to know a 6-year-old who isn't a dreamer. Okay? Shimon Peres, I don't think he saw Uncle Buck, but he expanded on this. And he said, and I quote, "A young person is someone whose dreams are bigger than their accomplishments." Okay. Canada is a story whose best chapters are yet to be written. not least because we're a country that welcomes the world's storytellers, celebrates their stories, and grows with them. So TIFF at 50 is just starting out.
Prime Minister Mark Carney was amongst many well-known moviegoers celebrating the milestone. But those big names are not the only ones drawn to the city. Hundreds of thousands of visitors are expected over the next 11 days, giving a massive boost to the local economy.